Good morning, welcome to shul.com. We are learning Parashat Lech Lecha, and there's a very interesting Rashi. It's the first Rashi of Lech Lecha, and I have a question. Seemingly, Hashem tells AVRAHAM that he's barren, he's living in a place where he has not much success. The king of the place, Nimrod, takes AVRAHAM and throws him into a 3-mile or 3-kilometer fire pit. He seemingly survives. He gives him Og Melech HaBashan. Some say it was his relative, some say he gave it to him as a slave. And Hashem then tells him, Vayomer Adonai el Avram, Lech Lecha ma'artzecha, leave your land, umimolatecha, the place you were born, umibet na'avicha, from your father, el ha'aretz asher eka, until the land I'll show you. I'm going to send you somewhere, but I'm not telling you where you're going. And if you look at Lech Lecha, it says, Lehanatcha v'letovatcha, for your benefit and for your goodness. Sham escha legoy gadol, I'm going to make you a big nation there. V'chan I ata zoche lebanim. Over here, you're not going to have any boys. If you go over there, you're going to have boys. And it says, Rosh Hashanah tet zayin amud bet. Ve'od sheodia tiv'acha ba'olam. Everyone's going to now know. When you move to the new place, everyone's going to now know that you are you are a very successful person, an important person. Now, the question is, what was Hashem telling AVRAHAM on the basis of this whole thing? Because normally when a person is in one place, he's established. People know him. But when he goes to a new place, he's got to start new connections, networking. I don't know who you are. I have to meet everybody. So God tells him right away, if you leave, it's going to be for your own benefit. You going to this new place, you're going to end up becoming more successful. It's going to be for your benefit of your children, that you're going to end up having children there where before you did not have children. And furthermore, I'll make your name great, that you'll be on a higher level than before. So this seemingly was a test. God tells him, I'm testing you to go. It's one of the tests that, according to some of the opinions that he had. How is this a test? Imagine I tell you, okay, sir, I know that it hasn't been so great for you here in Surfside. If you move to Brooklyn, New York, I'm going to give you a lot of wealth. You're going to have a lot of children. You and your wife are going to be healthy. Everything's going to be good. Okay, so what's exactly the question? And it's not like AVRAHAM can say, my father is my backbone and support. His father took him to Nimrod to kill him. And it's not like the people over there like him. They called him AVRAHAM HaIvri. He was on the other side. He was against everybody anyway. He wasn't liked in where he was. He might have been popular. He might have had support, but they were all against him. So watch this. I found something unbelievable yesterday. It says during the time of Yehoshua ben Nun, once Yehoshua ben Nun died, there was a place called Kiryat Sefer. It was a city in Israel, and they couldn't conquer it. So Kalev ben Yefune, Kalev and Yehoshua, remember those were the 2 spies that went into Eretz Yisrael, and then they came back. The 10 of them, the other 10 got killed, but those 2, Yehoshua and Kalev, even though every other male from 20 to 60 got killed, they were fortunate to go into the land. Yehoshua dies, and Kalev ben Yefune says, listen, whoever can take over this city, I'm going to give them my daughter. And my daughter's name is Achsa. The Gemara says on this girl Achsa, why was she called Achsa? That any man that would see her would automatically be mach'is on his wife. He would get married to his wife. He would say, I just saw a lady that was a 10-10. I can't believe that you're nowhere near her. Every time anyone would see this. And furthermore, she was known, everyone would, standard of their wife would be affected when they saw this lady. And she wasn't married yet. And so Kalev says, whoever can take over the city, I'm going to give him my daughter. Now the interesting thing is, what do you mean? Why were they not able to take it over physically? So this city of Kiryat Sefer had a spiritual tie to it. They did certain type of kishuf, that a person with physical strength couldn't get into it unless you broke the spiritual gate that was around it. What's so interesting about the city, Kiryat Sefer, is that Yehoshua ben Nun couldn't take it over. Kalev ben Yefune couldn't take it over. And remember, these were people that knew Moshe Rabbeinu. They knew all the Shemot, they knew all the spiritual tools in order to take over the city, and they were very powerful. Don't underestimate that Kalev or Yehoshua couldn't take it over physically. So what was it, and why would he give his daughter? Why would that make any difference? I mean, if there was someone that was physically able to do it, why don't you take over the city? What does it have to do with the daughter? Watch this, unbelievable. It said that Yehoshua ben Nun realized he couldn't take over this city physically. So he came to the conclusion there must be a spiritual force on the city, and we need somebody to remove the spiritual force. Now, one of the most difficult things for men is to control their desire for women. So what happened here is Yehoshua, and it was later Caleb, he told the people, look, I need to take over the city physically, but we need somebody who can break their spiritual forces, that they have a desire for a woman, a woman that's like Achsa, that's beautiful, that she's a 10 for 10, that every man who sees her will be mad at her wife. I need you to now take over the city and I'm going to give you the daughter. What was he doing? He was playing a riddle and a game on the people. He was saying, I need you to take it over spiritually, but now that you know you're going to get that girl, you need to know you're going to get her and not have that part of your desire in order to acquire the city spiritually. What does that mean? When Hashem tells Avraham, I need you to go to the land. I'm going to give you better life, better wife, children. You're going to be successful. Everything's going to work out for you. You know what he was telling him? He was telling him, I know you're going to go because of me. And then I need you to go because of me and not because of all the reasons I just told you. Can you do it? And Avraham Avinu passes the test. He knows it's not so good where he is. Leaving is easy. Leaving is simple to go. And what's the message for all this? This is the same message of Kiryat Sefer with Caleb ben Yefuneh and his daughter Achsa. He ended up finding somebody, Otniel ben Kenaz. And Otniel ben Kenaz was a warrior who ends up going in. He ends up spiritually breaking the force around the city. They end up physically taking it over. And then he marries Achsa. And then Achsa goes to her father after a short time being with Otniel and says, I don't understand who you got me to get married to. The guy doesn't ask me anything about clothing, doesn't ask me anything about food. He just sits and learns Torah all day. What was she saying? She was saying he was the guy. But he broke, how did he get through to taking over the city spiritually? He first broke the force that I know that I'm about to get a big reward, but I'm doing this Hashem because I know you want us to take over the land of Israel. We have to take over this land spiritually and I have the tools. I'm going to do it knowing there's a reward, but I'm going to control myself that at no point am I going to do this for the reward. And that's kind of like we have to do the mitzvot. Sometimes you see these sigulot, and we love talking about sigulot here. We talk about if you do a sigula, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. But the funny thing about the sigulot is that if you do them for the sigulot, more often than not, you're not going to get the result. You have to do it Leshem, Shamayim. And what is this first pasuk telling us? Is that in life we have the Torah. We're going to get all the good. You follow this book over here, you're going to get all the goodness in the world. Hashem is going to bless you and protect you, and everything's going to work out. But you know why you need to do it? Because God told you. Not because of all that stuff. All that stuff comes for it, and that's not so easy. Especially today, because today we're on an action, reaction, and everything we do, we get a result. But knowing this and going into it, we know that the reward is much greater if we do it. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen.